Hi everyone and welcome to the Remington Park Quarter Racing Update, or the Quarter Racing Update Remington Park, however you prefer. I'm Dale Day. A lot going on this week on the show. We're getting set for our final big set of 2-year-old Futurity trials for the Heritage Place Futurity coming up on Friday evening and Saturday evening. 9 trials each night. The fastest 5 from each evening of trials moves on to that $1 million Heritage Place Futurity on June the 1st. Now we'll also have trials coming up on Sunday, except for the Heritage Place Derby. That is a program that continues to grow. 6 trials coming up on Sunday afternoon. Fastest 10 out of that moved on to that lucrative final also on June the 1st. So a big weekend of trials. We also have some big stakes races coming up on Sunday afternoon. Mother's Day. Hopefully you're bringing mom out to Remington Park for a big racing card, and a great day in the Silks as well. But we've got a great card with the Derby trials and the AQHA Challenge race. It's headlined by the Grade 2 Bank of America Oklahoma Challenge Championship. In that race, we'll talk more about this a little bit later on, 2011 World Champion Cold Cash 123 is in the event, getting set for his first start of 2013. Of course, he was our horse of the meeting here at Remington Park a year ago. Now, also on that same card, the long runners have a chance again in the Red Cell Distance Challenge at 870 yards, a solid field of 8, many of them stakes runners normally, including a 2-time divisional champion in Passamaquoddy. That's on Sunday.
Feature Race Spotlight is sponsored by Oklahoma Equine Hospital. The defending champion of the Grade 3 Red Cell Remington Distance Challenge is Passamaquoddy, and you can expect the 7-year-old to be tough in this year's running as well. Trained by Rodney Reed, the AQHA Distance Champion of 2010 and 11, started this year's campaign with a second in the Pauls Valley Handicap on April 7th. 20 days later, Passamaquoddy won an allowance test at the 870-yard distance, the distance at which he's won 19 of 34 attempts, otherwise in the money on 9 other occasions. Apollo Rocks ran 4th behind Passamaquoddy in the April 27th allowance. He'll be an outsider in the distance challenge, but he is multiple stakes placed. Don't be surprised to see this Sam Howard trainee land in the money on Sunday. Doc's Dusty Okie, owned by Dusty Rose Ranch, came off a year-long layoff when he started in the Pauls Valley. He ran 3rd behind O Cooper Go and Passamaquoddy. In the 2011 Aggie Stakes, Doc's Dusty Okie set a new Remington 550-yard track record, which still stands today. He's trained by Cristino Estrada. Feature Race Spotlight has been brought to you by Oklahoma Equine Hospital, featuring rehab facilities that include an underwater treadmill and a cold saltwater spa. 2 locations just off I-35 at Oswald Road and at Ladd Road.
And we'll talk more about that Red Cell Challenge and the other championship races on AQHA Challenge Day on Sunday. The Red Cell, by the way, with 9 in a field going 870, so that's a little bit of a rare situation, but it's a cool situation as well because Tim Williams, racing secretary for the quarter horse season here at Remington Park, is helping to fill the gate, and your horsemen are doing a good job making your job easy, I guess.
Oh, very easy, very easy. I'm in a sweet spot. You know, we have a huge surplus of horses, and you know, the purse structure, there's a big willingness to run the horses because when they leave here, obviously they don't get this kind of opportunities again for quite some time, or actually till they come back here with the daily racing. So my job's really sweet.
Well, that's a good point. There are other tracks that run quarter horses in America that have very nice stake schedules, or the big races are very rich. I mean, you've got the $2 million Futurities out at Los Alamitos. Of course, the extremely rich, almost every race for the Futurity and Derby horses at Ruidoso is worth $1 million or $2 million now. We've got one race that's worth $1 million, the Heritage Place Futurity on the final weekend, but a lot of big 6-digit races, but our overnight money is extremely great, so that makes it very worthwhile.
Exactly right. They don't have this opportunity, and for a large stable, you know, you just can't haul around with your 6 good stake horses, you know, and make a living that way, you know. But it affords a person an opportunity to run horses that they otherwise actually, you know, with the prices and of the keep and the care and the training and everything of a horse, it's just difficult to run for any less than we are actually. You know, I don't know how some people do it, but here at Remington Park, they've done just a marvelous job of allowing people to run these kind of horses, and And those are the bread and butter and the backbone of racing. I'm not telling you anything obviously you don't know. The 4 and 5 year old geldings are the best ones back there. You know, we only get to see cold cast twice a meet. And some of these other old campaigners, you know, Lord willing, we'll see them 3, 4, sometimes 5 times.
Yeah, and the fans get to know those horses
Absolutely.
too, year after year after year, which is a
Absolutely.
really cool situation. Speaking of money, the Heritage Place Futurity Trials coming up, something talking about purses. That program, trials worth $15,000. That's great. I remember not too long ago, trials were worth a ham sandwich and a pat on the back.
Absolutely.
Now you can run for a trial. You may not make the final, but at least if you win your trial, you got a chance to make some of your money back.
Absolutely. It didn't cost you money to break your maiden in a trial. Where I can remember, you know, telling my age when we ran trials, sometimes for no money, just for the opportunity to run back in the final. Well, if you broke your maiden for, you know, $1,000 token trial heat purse to pay for your win picture, you know, and then now all of a sudden you didn't get to run in a maiden race that might have paid $5,000, you know. So here, in like a Remington Park offered $10,000 to the trials, and the Heritage and the Oklahoma Quarter Racing Association chipped in $5,000 of their breed money, so each trial was $15,000, and then Heritage followed suit and they ended up $5,000 for each trial to make. That's just huge.
Yeah, it adds up.
It's
very,
absolutely
it's a
huge.
nice. It's a nice plus if you don't make the final. At least
Absolutely.
you got paid and made some of your entry money or nomination money back. Because most people, you and me maybe, okay, me, I would nominate one because that's probably all the money I would have. But some outfits have many horses nominated. So if that horse wins a trial race that's worth something, that helps to alleviate some of the expenses, not for just that horse, but everybody else. Yeah, absolutely. Now let's talk about the trials. You got 2 nights, 9 trials each night, fastest 5 from each night, move on to the $1 million race.
That's right.
Now, we've seen a lot of stars. Unfortunately, Coronado Cartel, the Oklahoma bred who won the Remington Park Futurity, not in the Heritage Place, but there's some other star quality horses here that people have watched move through the ranks so far this season.
There are, and there's so many names they run together, but the hype at this time of year, you know, they're mostly all of those of the 18 trials, 9 each night. You know, the hopes of all of the owners and trainers of each of these horses. You know, there's typically at this point there might be you know, waking up Sunday morning be a lot different attitudes, but at this point there's not a dud in the bunch. You know, everybody's bringing their horse over here thinking they're live to make it. You know, some obviously better chances than others, but they all think they have a chance, and that's cool.
Well, and those are the 2 2-year-old race nights for Friday and Saturday, 9 trials each. 6 trials for the 3-year-olds for the Heritage Place Derby on Sunday. That program growing. Not too long ago, just 3 or 4 races maybe for trials tops. Now we're up to 6. That's a great thing.
Right. I don't know. You know, I don't want to put words in anybody's mouth or anything, but you know, typically like at Ruidoso, you know, they've capped their futurities to carry money over for the Derby horses that participated in the futurity trials, and things like that help build bigger Derby purses and encourage horses to run later on in life. And with the Derbies getting bigger, you know, that's going to be really good for quarter horse racing. You know, we can't just send them down through there and test them out as a 2-year-old, and if they work, then great. We'll bring a small percentage of them back to run as 3, and a smaller percentage than that back as 4s. You know, if you follow me. But the more money we allow them to run at, and back to our daily purse structure with the overnight races here at Remington.
Yeah,
you know,
it's kind of piles onto each other, and it's a very good situation. Now, I mentioned the Futurity. Tim actually won the Heritage Place Futurity not that long ago. Give me the year and the horse.
2005, Isa Shaker won the Heritage Place Futurity right here.
And you were on its back.
I was on its back. My wife was a trainer. Yeah.
Now, you had experience, obviously, training and riding, but which did you prefer out of the 2?
Well, there's no bigger thrill than riding a racehorse. You know, I fought my weight. You know, size was a factor to me, and injuries, and I love the animal. I obviously love the animal, and training gives you a lot of time with the animal. If you're going about it right, you're going to spend a lot of time with a horse, and that's something you love. But there's no bigger rush in the world that I've found yet. I've yet to jump out of an airplane. I'm going to do that pretty soon, but I've never could describe the feeling of not only just riding a race, but winning a race. And I'm quite certain that everybody upstairs over there in the jocks room will tell you the same thing. It's quite a thrill.
Well, when you jump out of that plane, let me know if you're going to do it twice. I did it once a long time ago. I never went back. All right, real quick before we wrap this up.
Yes,
The Bank of America Oklahoma Challenge Championship on Sunday afternoon. Cold Cash 1, 2, 3. World champion 2 years ago in the older ranks. Overall world champion, period. And our horse competed last year. It's a stellar field, though. OQHRA, his stablemate, not going to go. We expect to see those two butt heads later on in the Remington Park Championship.
Yes, sir, we do that. That's June the 1st also. And that could be exciting. That's going to shape up to be a really, really nice field. We're just now in the process of contacting invitees. You know, we're gathering phone numbers and data and putting together. We'll have a list out, I believe I told you, the 15th, and of who we've actually invited, and hope to see who comes. We know of a few great horses that are kind of on the shelf that are going to come, and 2 or 3 of the top 10 horses in the AQHA poll are 3-year-olds, which typically they've got big derbies facing them, so it's highly unlikely to get any of them. But we have a lot of local talent too. That's, you know, other than just the superstars from everywhere else. We've got some local talent that's pretty exciting. You know, it's going to be a good race. It's no gimme.
For $250,000, it's a huge race for status and money because, as Tim said, they get the automatic berth to the Champions, which is the top race in quarter horse racing for older horses in December at Los Alamitos later on. So
It'll be $1 million.
it's a big, big deal all the way around.
Sure is.
Tim, thank you very much.
Thank
We'll
you for
come
having
back
me.
with more in just a moment. Quarter racing update here at Remington Park.
Quarter Racing Update, Remington Park, is brought to you by the Oklahoma Quarter Horse Racing Association, Speedhorse Magazine, Juniors of Oklahoma City, by Racing Free, and by Oklahoma Equine Hospital.
An official representative for horsemen in the state, the OQHRA administers race, benevolence, and scholarship programs, all to better the state of racing in the state of Oklahoma. Visit OQHRA.com.
Speedhorse Magazine, the industry's most widely read and respected magazine. Complete coverage of quarter horse racing and industry events. Sponsor of the Speedhorse Race Series. Visit speedhorse.com.
Racing Free is dedicated to acknowledging and rewarding the great people in racing who are racing free. In an effort to eliminate the use of performance-enhancing drugs, Racing Free offers incentives for all industry participants. Visit racingfree.com. Time now on the Quarter Racing Update for Juniors Highlights Recap. A 350-yard optional claiming race topped the card on Sunday at Remington Park. $22,000 plus the purse in this test for 3-year-olds and up. At some 17 hands tall, Jess Lips is becoming a crowd favorite at the Oklahoma City track, and he has the creds to go with it. A second and third in Grade 1 races and almost $350,000 in the bank. Jess Lips, a.k.a. Shaq, was the post-time favorite.
It's Zoomin kicking on the lead now over halfway home. Zoomin kicking outside to the inside. Just Lips now coming on. Sent Candy Power running a big one as well. Just Lips asked for more to the inside, and Just Lips prevails.
Sporting a 102 speed index for his effort, Just Lips takes this one by 3/4 of a length over Zoomin Kickin'. Send Candy Power ran third. Jimmy Brooks in the irons for trainer Eddie Willis. Valeriano Racing Stables owns the Texas bred. A $21,000 allowance topped the undercard on Saturday, May 4th. Number 6, Dalt's Gunnin' for Success, 2 for 2 lifetime, was the public's choice in the 330-yard race. Jackie Kirby, the trainer. Albert Medrano, the jockey. Also well-liked, number 4 had a certain charm, with Cody Jensen in the saddle, and the 8-horse Patriots Dream 1-2-3 coming off an allowance win at the same distance in March.
Away sharply, Dalt's Gunnin' for Success and Patriots Dream 1-2-3 trying to come on from the rail. This Cowboy Kudzu farther out a run now from Cartel Dynasty. Patriots Dream 1-2-3 hooked up with Dalt's Gunnin' for Success. These two nose bobbing all the way to the line. Patriots Dream 1-2-3 to the outside.
Russell Hadley pilots Patriots Dream 1-2-3 to victory over Dalt's Gunnin' for Success. Had a certain charm followed in the show spot. Bred in Michigan, Patriots Dream 123 is owned by T-Bill Stables. The 3-year-old filly is trained by Casey Willis. She stopped the timer at 16.551 seconds, earning a speed index of 98. On to the $100,000 Sooner State Stakes. The 2012 winner of this race, a toss-up, was in to defend his crown in the 400-yard Grade 1 event, which is restricted to Oklahoma-bred 3-year-olds and older. A good group here. You can call Mr. Earl, winner of the 550-yard SLM Big Daddy Stakes, the 10-horse Joker on Jack, a 3-year-old who won 2 stakes in late 2012. Number 9, a 2-time stakes winner so far in 2013, Fast Prize Jordan. And the post-time favorite, Priceless Feature. The 8-horse won the Grade 1 Heritage Place Derby last year before running second to OQHRA in the Rainbow Derby. Jimmy Brooks, the jockey on this Eddie Willis trainee in the Grade 1 Sooner Stakes.
A toss-up, running a big one tonight, a toss-up. Sticks the nose on the lead with Priceless Feature. Now Priceless Feature reasserts and goes to the front, up by almost a half length, maybe a full length. Fast Price Jordan chasing outside. Priceless Feature will get there by 3 parts of a length.
Priceless Feature wins with a driving finish in the $100,000 Sooner State over Fast Price Jordan. A toss-up completed the trifecta. The winner is a son of feature Mr. Jess and the Corona Cartel mare, Southern Price. Owned by Ed Melzer, Priceless Feature was bred in Oklahoma by Sam Green. A 103 speed index for his time of 19.356 seconds. Priceless Feature, victorious in this year's running of the Sooner State Stakes, our feature race in Juniors of Oklahoma City's Highlights Recap. Juniors, OKC's ultimate dining experience since 1973.
And it was another big weekend last week at Remington Park with some top quality runners in stakes events and otherwise. You saw a couple in there. Priceless Feature, one that we expect to come back to the Remington Park Championship on June 1st. And Jess Lips, while not winning any stakes races this season, he's definitely well known by virtue of his size alone, possibly the biggest older horse on the grounds, if not the biggest horse overall. He could come back to that championship. So a great weekend last week. Now, if you'd like to know more about what it takes to get a horse prepared to race and then to actually put the race on, then the OQHRA racing experience may be for you. If you're very interested, give them a call. You can find out more. It's a full day of activity. It happens every year. This year it's on Sunday, May 19th here at Remington Park, OQHRA Regional Racing Experience. You'll go behind the scenes in the barn area, talking with trainers and grooms and people that work with the horses, talking about what it takes to get the horse ready, properly care for the horse and make sure everything's ready to go on race day. And then you'll also get to go to the racetrack and go to the starting gate, meet our starter Ed Crane and his staff, the assistant starters, the gate crew, and what it takes to get the horses trained for the starting gate and ready to go in the actual race as well. So a lot happens. OQHRA Racing Experience. Go for more information to OQHRA.com. Download that application, and hopefully you can enjoy that experience on May the 19th. More coming up on the Quarter Racing Update here at Remington Park.
Speedhorse Magazine, the industry's most widely read and respected magazine. Complete coverage of quarter horse racing and industry events. Sponsor of the Speedhorse Race Series. Visit speedhorse.com.
An official representative for horsemen in the state, the OQHRA administers race, benevolence, and scholarship programs, all to better the state of racing in the state of Oklahoma. Visit OQHRA.com.
Somewhere there's music, I'll faint the tune. Somewhere there's heaven. There is no moon above when love's far away till it comes true. Love you, love me, as I love you. Somewhere there's music, I'm never far.
is at 130, an 11-race program due to all the stakes races and the trials for the Heritage Place Derby. In that Challenge Championship, a couple of key runners out of the hot barn of trainer Sleepy Gilbert. Now, Sleepy hasn't started a lot throughout the course of the season, but the ones he start, they usually mean business, including his world champion from 2011, Cold Cash 123, an earner of more than $1.2 million overall. If he does well in the Bank of America Championship on Sunday, he'll go over the $1.3 million mark. This will be his first start of 2013 at Remington Park. He had a couple of outs earlier this year at Los Alamitos, did not fare well there, but he's back here to Remington Park where he won the Horse of the Meeting Honors a year ago, and he could prove to be very, very tough. Another out of the same barn from the Gilbert barn is the Long Knife. The Long Knife ran in the Grade 1 Leo Stakes at the end of March here at Remington Park and just missed, gaining well under G.R. Carter. I don't know who Leo Carter is. G.R. Carter was up. The Long Knife finished second, beating only neck to first in class DBS, who was a late charging winner in that Leo Stakes. So the Bank of America Oklahoma Challenge Championship, it's a Grade 2. That's the main event of all the stakes races coming up on Sunday here at Remington Park. Mother's Day first race is at 1:30. Joined now by Danielle Bryan from Racing Free, and she does a lot of things with quarter horse racing. Welcome back. Glad to have you live this week.
Hey, Dale, I'm glad to be here.
No Skype this time. We
no
get to see
Skype
you in
from
person.
Lano. Yeah, no birds chirping in the background like last time.
That's all right. Lano looks like a beautiful place. At least
Yeah.
the place where you come to us from looks like a beautiful place.
Absolutely.
A lot going on. You're always big into the trials, and there's a lot of trials this week for Futurity and Derby.
Yeah. The trials are going to be an exciting weekend for us. We have 10 Futurity horses in the Futurity trials, so we're really hoping that those 2-year-olds are going to step up, prove their talent, make some big statements for Racing Free. Obviously, with Coronado Cartel, performing as well as he did in the last big Futurity, we hope to have the same momentum and see some different horses really shine for these Futurity trials.
Now, Danielle is in the winner's circle when there's a Racing Free horse that happens to win a race here at Remington Park, when she's here at least. She's the one with the cool sign that she opens up in the winner's circle picture.
Yeah.
You were there a lot for the Remington Park Futurity trials and then again on the finals day.
Absolutely, and I try and make it down for everyone. Anything we can do to let owners know that Racing Free is out there, it's available. We don't really plan on going away. We want to keep offering this to owners, across the board. So Remington, like I said, has been the best at allowing us to really promote Racing Free, get excited about the owners and the momentum we are getting. We've had one horse, Coronado Cartel, has won 3 times at the meet, so that's a $4,500 payout to the owners of Coronado Cartel. We've had one horse, Corporal Cash, it's won twice, so for a $300 entry fee, he's going to get $3,000 back for this meet. There's still plenty of time to sign up, to get involved. We just hope to keep doing that.
Now, you said the growth of the program from opening weekend in early March to now has really expanded, at least from the Remington meet alone.
Yeah, it really has. And like I said, Remington really rolled out the red carpet for Racing Free and really wanting to let the followers of Remington Park know that they stand for performance-enhancing, drug-free racing. And we want to be that group that can be positive and be out there amongst the people, letting everybody know, hey, racing has a future, and it has a very positive future. So moving beyond Remington, we really want to keep that momentum at the other Oklahoma meets, into New Mexico and Prairie Meadows as well.
Okay, so a lot happening. Trials for the Heritage Place. The race overall is worth $1 million. The winner doesn't get $1 million. That'd be nice, but they get a big chunk of it, at least half of it. And Danielle will be very heavily involved in those trials, and then also coming up over the course of the rest of the weekend with Derby trials on Sunday and challenge races on Sunday as well. And then we'll get to see her back, I hope, on June 1st, the big night of the biggest night of the season. All right, Danielle Bryan of Racing Free. She does a lot with a great program, and she knows her horses as well. So if you have a question about horse racing, you have to bump into her. She can probably answer it for you. We'll be back with more in just a moment here on the Quarter Racing Update.
Quarter Racing Update Remington Park is brought to you by the Oklahoma Quarter Horse Racing Association, Speedhorse Magazine, Juniors of Oklahoma City, by Racing Free, and by Oklahoma Equine Hospital.
An official representative for horsemen in the state, the OQHRA administers race, benevolence, and scholarship programs, all to better the state of racing in the state of Oklahoma. Visit OQHRA.com.
Speedhorse Magazine, the industry's most widely read and respected magazine. Complete coverage of quarter horse racing and industry events. Sponsor of the Speedhorse Race Series. Visit speedhorse.com.
Racing Free is dedicated to acknowledging and rewarding the great people in racing who are racing free. In an effort to eliminate the use of performance-enhancing drugs, Racing Free offers incentives for all industry participants. Visit racingfree.com. History's Fastest Athletes is sponsored by and produced in conjunction with Speedhorse Magazine. Foaled in 1985, the Sorrel filly Dash for Speed was bred in partnership with the legendary B.F. Phillips. Owned and raced by Bob Blakeman and Tom Bradbury, Dash for Speed was trained by Larry Keeter and ridden by Steve Fuller. She was a daughter of Dash for Cash and Mighty Speedy by Mighty Deck. With 8 starts in her 2-year-old year, Dash for Speed had 4 wins and 4 seconds. The year was capped off with a daylight tally in the Rainbow Futurity at Ruidoso. With her eyes set on the 3-year-old Triple Crown at the New Mexico track, Dash for Speed would easily destroy the fields in her trial and the final of the Kansas Derby. Up next were 2 more daylight tallies in the trial and final for the Rainbow Derby. And in the All-American Derby, she led from start to finish on a sloppy track. To this day, Dash for Speed is the only filly to win the Derby Triple Crown at Ruidoso. She was named the 1988 champion 3-year-old and 3-year-old filly by the AQHA. Campaigned at 4, Dash for Speed notched a victory in the Grade 1 Rainbow Silver Cup at Ruidoso, where she had become a potent force, having won 9 stakes races at the mountain. After a tally in the Grade 1 World Championship Classic, she ended her '89 campaign with the honor of being champion-aged mare as well as champion-aged horse. In 1990, Dash for Speed's owners sent her to the West Coast and the famous barn of Blaine Schwanneville. The goal was clear, a world championship for Dash for Speed. She started her 4th year of racing with a track record run at Los Alamitos in the Grade 1 Ann Burnett Handicap. Just 2 weeks later, while facing possibly one of the toughest fields ever assembled for the 440-yard Los Alamitos Championship, Dash for Speed, with a blistering time of 21.37 seconds, claimed her 9th Grade 1 win. In the most prestigious event for older quarter-horse runners, the Champion of Champions, Dash for Speed went wire to wire in what would be her last race ever, leading to her coronation as World Champion of 1990. Dash for Speed had a lifetime record of 22 wins, 4 seconds and 2/3 in 31 starts. She retired with $1.2 million in earnings and a record 10 Grade 1 victories. Dash for Speed, one of history's toughest, most competitive, and fastest athletes.
Speedhorse widely read and respected magazine. Complete coverage of quarter horse racing and industry events. Sponsor of the Speedhorse Race Series. Visit speedhorse.com.
Welcome back to the quarter racing update, from history's fastest athlete to one that's trying to make a play for that type of designation down the road. Our Oklahoma bred of the week is Priceless Feature. Now, Priceless Feature was a prominent participant a year ago on Heritage Place Derby's trials weekend, and then in the final winning the Heritage Place Derby under the ageless Roy Brooks. He came back to show what he could do this past weekend in the $100,000 Sooner State Stakes restricted Grade 1 event for talented Oklahoma breds, and Priceless Feature was able to get the job done. Trained by Eddie Willis, ridden by Roy Brooks' son Jimmy Brooks, who's battling G.R. Carter for the lead in the jockey standings, owned by Ed Melzer out of Edmond, Oklahoma, the breeder Sam Green. Priceless Feature, our Oklahoma bred of the week, and we expect to see him again at least one more time in this season here at Remington Park, more than likely in that Remington Park Championship on June the 1st. Now, of course, a lot happening as we get set gearing towards those final weeks and final weekend, which would be included including the Betting on a Cure festivities on June the 1st, including the Pink Out. But there's something going on tonight here at Remington Park prior to the Pink Out. A few weeks away, May 9th, this evening, it's the Betting on a Cure Wine and Palate event. This is an event to help raise money for Rein in Cancer. And for $75 this evening, a lot happening in the suites level this evening, including painting, dinner, silent auction, and of course the American Quarter Horse racing you see on the racetrack. So wine tasting and food tonight. Wine and Palate, another event, part of the Betting on a Cure festivities, raising money to fight cancer here at Remington Park. And that's just about going to wrap things up. Don't forget, racing begins Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, 6 p.m. Mother's Day Monday is at 1:30 p.m. Only a little more than 10 days remaining in the season, 4 weekends to be exact. It'll wrap up on June the 2nd with the Primo Night on June the 1st, featuring that $1 million Heritage Place Futurity. We'll qualify those finalists Friday and Saturday this week for that big money event. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget, there's more coming up this Sunday as a special edition of the Quarter Racing Update here at Remington Park will take place, gearing you up for the AQHA Challenge Championship races. For all involved, I'm Dale Day. Good luck this weekend.
This Sunday, a special edition of Quarter Racing Update Remington Park as the Challenge Race Series tops the card at the OKC track. We'll preview many of the day's events, which will feature some of the country's biggest names in quarter horse racing. Also on the show, we'll look at the qualifiers for the June 1st $1 million Grade 1 Heritage Place Futurity. All live from Remington Park at 11:30 Central on RaceviewNetwork.com. You can also catch it on our Facebook page. Just click the Ustream Live tab.